try not to talk about politics, Psalms, or just the government in general. Can you do that?
No. No Psalms. I'm making notes. No government. Politics. Okay. Anything else that you want to make sure? Is this like the PG version, or are you going to a G version this time? Anything else you don't want me to talk about?
This is reverse psychology, bro. 101.
Well, I'm making notes so I don't. What about your eyebrows? Can I talk about your eyebrows?
Dude, this
All
is
right.
getting boring. No one
I'll-
cares about my eyebrows
I'll put
anymore, man.
them
You've already
on-
said it. Oh my gosh.
Put them on the no-go list.
Fuck.
Okay.
Thought we were gonna be on a good start here.
You started it.
Yeah.
Your hat's not clipped all the way through.
Yeah. Well, your shirt is grandma's curtains.
How did you know I made these out of her curtains? I don't even know what these are. Do you know what kind of flowers these are?
You like flowers. You're very floral.
I do like flowers.
I
like flowers in all ways.
Yeah.
I like growing them. I like making
growing 'em.
bouquets. I like wearing them on my shirt. I'm like the only guy like down like whenever I was like traveling in Texas and like the only dude wearing cowboy boots, jeans, and a Hawaiian shirt. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? Who gave him the fashion sense?
They all go together. That's good. That's a good pairing.
They all go together.
Hawaiian cowboy.
Yeah.
Hawaiian cowboy.
The Hawaiian
That's a
cowboy.
new-
They're
that's a
actually
new trend.
that's a real thing.
I don't doubt
What
it.
do they call them? Pañuelos? All right, Art, can you look up pañuelo? I think it's pañuelo.
Oh, Piñolo.
It's like the Hawaiian cowboys. Because like there's some like legit cattle ranching that goes on out in the Hawaiian Islands.
Okay, I want to see this.
Think about tropical beef. I mean, it's got to like grow a little differently, right? And that's what I get my protein from. Not like these little evolved drinks. Dude, that's what they have. They have that shit like on
I just
tap
like it-
at every rest home in America. For old
No, it's
people,
not.
bro.
No, that's Ensure, bro.
Okay, there we go. The pañuelo.
Yeah.
And they're fucking real cowboys. Like, they're not.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. The
Do
Hawaiian
you not,
cowboy.
Like, do you not read shit? Like, I feel like every time I talk to you, I bring something up that should be common knowledge, and you're like, I've never heard of a pañuelo.
Bro.
Come on, dude. What?
Like you're saying that everyone knows about the Hawaiian cowboys?
I would think that you might, like, if you've been to Hawaii one time, you're probably.
Oh, I have. I've been in Hawaii multiple times.
How many times do you think you've been to Hawaii?
Many times.
Yeah?
I've been many times. I see a lot of. I've never seen actually a Hawaiian cowboy.
Yeah, you got to get in the upcountry. They don't live on the beach like you might think. Oh man,
They don't come down to the beach,
Yeah,
just like galloping
they
around.
run. Yeah, they run all their cattle.
Well, they better. They would people,
across
more people
on a
would know
Poly
about.
Beach, you know, it's just like, oh, I got the cattle drive today. Make sure you don't bring your umbrella to the
Yeah,
beach.
you know why they don't come down to the beach? Because they don't want like that horse shit just like on the beach, just messing up everyone's vibe. You know what I mean? You know that.
Yeah.
The horse on the beach, it's like all great until they start dropping.
So I love Hawaii. Like
Nice.
the Hawaiian Islands are something special, right?
Yeah.
And everybody always is like, they're like the West Coast version of the Caribbean. Like they are nothing like the Caribbean. They both have like really cool things, but like you go to Hawaii, don't expect like crystal clear blue water lagoons and like, you know, stuff like that. It's like more, you know, the beauty of it is actually in like the jungles there, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even cool to see like the craters, how it was all like how it all, you know, developed over time. But also you got like the dry side and the wet side and understanding the climate and shit. It's a cool place, but we actually just made our summer plans this year. So we're going to the Caribbean with the kids.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So they've been there, but like we're going to Turks and Caicos.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Turks and Caicos.
How was it?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Do you know where you stayed?
It was some years ago, so I don't know where I stayed, but I do know that there's you kind of have to like, I think right when you land, it's like one of those places like you got to kind of do your shopping, like get your food or whatever. You're gonna be staying at like a condo or something like that.
We got like a little
Whatever it
house,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, get all your food like by the airport because
Is it
How'd you get
a
out
big
there?
area or like small area?
It's
Dude,
a
look
big
at all those
area,
fucking
big area.
flamingos.
Look at that.
Can you hunt
Yeah.
flamingos? wonder how
Hunt
they,
them?
Yeah, you think they taste good?
No, dude. Why are you trying to hunt flamingos?
I'm just thinking. Oh,
Look at him.
sorry.
Look at.
Oh no, guns was not on the no-go list. That's all right. Yeah.
You can't. You don't want to hurt one of those pink flamingos.
Well, you could say the same thing about duck, but man, I'll eat the fuck out of duck.
No, I mean, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. So it looks like there's a lot of fun stuff to do for the kids.
Yeah.
That's what I want right there. Me, a catamaran, bottle of rosé,
Oh,
fucking out over the deep blue.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And what islands have you been to? Going back to Hawaii, have you been to all the islands?
No, there's a lot. I've hit the Big Island,
Yeah.
Oahu, obviously. So you got Hawaii, Oahu, Kauai, Molokai, Lanai. And
Well, these are all the ones you've been to.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Dang.
then there's like
Dude, Lanai.
Then Molokini is like that tiny one out there.
Yeah.
That's more of like I think leftover crater. I've like snorkeled there, but you can't like go up on. I don't think you're supposed to climb up on that island. It's not really much of an island. There's Kaho'olawe.
Whoa. Just what happened right now?
The
Wait, say it
dude,
again?
it's Kaho'olawe.
No, say it like you did the first time.
Kaho'olawe. Kaho'olawe.
You got that down, man.
So it's you've heard this story about
Did they call
that.
you a Hallie when you're there? No, do they?
Do they?
They
I did a senior project in Hawaii, and I got to get like entrenched with the locals there, and they're fucking a blast.
Yeah.
They put off the vibe like they don't like tourists, but once you like just chill with them, they're awesome. Again, like one of those cultural things we talked about last time.
Yeah.
You just like you get to see their culture, and they're all just loving, happy people.
Well, this was like in high school.
Yeah, I was like a senior.
Yeah, when you're
Yeah.
So I mean, you were still rocking the dreads and
No, dude, I was out
No?
with my dreads. I cut my
Oh,
dreads
you
off when I
guys-
was 16.
okay.
Yeah, but so Kaho'olawe is like this island that, because Pearl Harbor was out there, right?
Yeah.
Big naval base, and so they used that island for target practice. This is kind of how fucked up
Whoa.
the government is, right?
That was on your list. That was
Yeah, okay, I fucked up. I got
That's
it.
okay.
No,
Whatever.
I'll
This
stay
is
away
actually-
from politics.
No, I feel like this has turned into a checking the box.
This is a
You're
bingo-
now
it's
checking
a bingo
these.
match.
You're like, oh, I have to do this. Yeah. So please go ahead. You got this one.
All right, so they fucked this island up.
Okay.
There's like a bunch of artillery shells like just left out there, like bombs and mortars, shit that didn't go off, right? And a bunch of just it's a mess. There's like nothing living on the goddamn island, right?
Yeah.
After World War II, and they used it for training and everything. And guess what they do? They give it back to the fucking native Hawaiians as like a gift. It's like here's the island with all the bombs that are still like good luck cleaning it up.
Oh man.
I just thought it was really fucked up. See, look at that.
Is this it? Yeah.
So access to the reserve, the island, and the 2 miles of ocean surrounding Kaho'olawe is restricted because of the continued danger of unexploded ordnance. Anyways, I'm sure someday that's going to be an awesome island, but dude, I don't even want to know. Like,
Dude, it is kind of like messed up. So they just like bomb the shit out of it, and then
yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't want to clean this up, so here you go."
You can have that back. We did a
It
little
might be
redecorating.
It might be a piece of shit,
Give you
but
a-
it's on a silver platter.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Anyways, yeah. So there's still a couple other islands. Like some of them are smaller down there,
Yeah.
or out there, and like, but they're all beautiful. Like, I don't know. What's your favorite?
Nice. Well, I think you know what? For a while it was Maui, and then I think I've gone back to Oahu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like North
And
Shore.
this is, Honolulu.
You like Honolulu?
I do like it because
You like the big city in the tropics?
well, I see. The thing is, I walked away from it, but then there was really good food that I was finding out there, and so
There is
I
really,
really
good food.
enjoy. Yeah,
Yeah.
been really kind of enjoying like the restaurants there and stuff like that. But like omakase, like they have like good they have
Yeah.
good, sushi there and stuff like that. So
Well, cool.
I'm like
Last time I went to Honolulu, I actually loved it. It was
Yeah.
it was great. Like, I mean, I still want to get out and like explore the jungle and
yeah,
whatever else.
and then
Get
you can
on,
go to
like-
North Shore.
yeah.
Yeah, I did that too. I mean, you get like and go out there as well, but don't surf out there though.
Yeah,
That's a
she'll
little
crush you.
that's beyond my capabilities. Yeah.
Well, all right.
All right, so
we didn't do the intro,
we
so
didn't
welcome back to another podcast. Go with your palate with your host Chris, the Fat Mario Rubio, and
Joe Wagner, TikTok influencer.
fuck Jesus.
Where we talk about wine,
Distilleries,
weed,
entrepreneurship,
and
anything else. Anything the fuck else.
Anything else. I mean, really, a lot of whatever the fuck else.
I mean, yeah, there is mostly whatever the fuck else. But I also think, like, hopefully that is, like, we're just talking about Hawaii for, like, 20 minutes. And, like, I don't know. Maybe somebody's like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and, like, take a sabbatical and become a Paniolo.
That's why you guys, hey, look at your chapter markers there. Please stay on, because I think by the time we intro, like, everyone's like, dude, I don't know what they're...
Like, what are they talking about?
Hawaii? Like, I'm okay. Like, I like Hawaii, too, but... anyways, hey. So, let's get into it. I want to get into the serious issues today.
Okay, what's a pressing serious issue for you?
I'm tired of all this shit going down, and we're going to uncover this. We're going to get down to the bottom of this. There's a lot of haters. There's a lot of shit going down. It's about foil cork, wax cork, or screw cap. Okay?
Yeah.
And this has been going down a lot, and we've been doing some recent social media on it. We could bring up
it seems to get people upset with us. I mean, me, I guess.
The TikTok issues here, but yeah, and then I think first it starts off like what's better. Let's play one of these. Let's see what
So wait, this is my response. Okay, so somebody said they were talking about the wax and why we use the wax, right? So their response to the wax was they do it because consumers think wine is cheaper without the cork and wax. Twist seal caps are statistically the most safe for wine. Okay, go ahead and roll.
Yeah. This guy's all concerned with the wine's safety. I'm not usually concerned with the wine's safety. I mean, I'm not putting it in a risky position. I'm concerned about the quality. And for quality, I choose one of two closure options. One being a cork with a wax seal, and number two, a screw cap. They're both oxygen-deprived environments. They're both amazing options that hold the wine far better for far longer. So I think we're in agreement on some stuff.
Okay, so yeah, let me dig into this a little more because I think it is. I actually have a whole philosophy on this whole thing. Okay,
great.
Number one, let's start with how we happen upon these things, right? So from 2002, my second vintage of Belglas.
Yeah,
I wanted to differentiate it from a lower priced Pinot that we had, and that was going under a cork and foil. And so I was like, how do I class up the vineyard designates under Belglas? So I started dipping it in wax, and it's like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, good look, good seal. It really started off with just like being an aesthetically driven decision, right? And then it became part of the brand. I mean, like Maker's Mark, their wax drip look is part of the brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think of Maker's Mark, you don't think like when you're getting a visual, you think of that dripping wax every time.
Yeah.
So it's become part of the brand now. What we learned over time was going back to like earlier vintages. Let's just like take 2006 vintage of Las Alturas. Now, when we are bottling, we pull bottling samples just to keep in our library so that if anything ever happens and we're able to find like, I don't know, whatever, like there's a flaw in the wine somewhere, we're able to bring that bottle back and then track it and figure out exactly, you know, what time it was bottled. And then we'll take our bottling samples from, you know, whatever, from 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and run those and see if there was like something that happened in the line, like the fill height was off or something like that, whatever it might be. So that we can kind of consolidate what the issue was and how much wine needs to be pulled out of the market.
Damn.
So anyway, so that's like a long way of describing it. Anyways, and that's not the point. So
wait, hold on, dude.
But the point of the story is that those bottling samples that we pull, we never put wax on them, right? So they've just got a cork.
Yeah.
And no seal at all. And we put them in a box. We put them away in our cellar and just hold on to them forevermore. So we went back to like the 2000. It was even earlier than that. It was like 2004 vintage of a number of our wines, Clark and Telephone, Las Alturas, and we tasted the waxed seal version of that exact same wine against the unwaxed version. And we saw that the fruit had degraded much more rapidly in the unsealed bottle. And so we started looking at like, well, what is going on with this? Why are we seeing better results in something that is oxygen deprived, right? Because the cork does have, it's a little more permeable, like you'll have a little more interaction. The wax seal doesn't allow any oxygen to go in. I mean, maybe minimal amounts. I don't know how much goes through this thing, but it's wax. This has been like the fucking traditional, closure seal for centuries. And I'm going to get into that in a sec.
Yeah.
But so we decided at that point, number one, screw cap or cork. And if we had cork, it's going to have a wax seal on it. So we deprive it of oxygen and maintain the fruit. The other thing that we did, and this goes back to, this is about 2015, and we're about to bottle our first bottling of the Quilt Cabernet. And I'm asking everybody, like, what do you guys think? Like, let's take a poll. Sales team, winemaking team, like, screw cap or cork? And sales team was mostly like, cork, it's a $50 cab, like, it's got to have a cork in it. I'm like, not the preferred option, especially if it's going to be really by the glass focus. So we're like, somebody's going to crack that bottle open, pour a great glass of cab, screw that cab back on, go back to making cocktails at the bar, whatever, right? So that was kind of like more of a utility focus at that time. What drove the decision, though, was that in my own, like my personal cellar, I had 3 bottles of Plump Jack Napa Valley Cabernet from 2003 vintage, I believe it was. 3 of them under screw cap and the same wine under cork with a foil on it. And I was like, here we go. The sales team's in town, winemaking team, we all meet up, and I pour 2 glasses of wine for everybody. It's like 20 people in the room. 2 glasses of wine for everybody. And I just said, everybody taste them, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But all you need to know is that you have 2 Napa Valley Cabernets with some age on them in front of you. So we're thinking like 2003, barrel aging, whatever else, probably in bottle for about 10 years. So I thought, okay, this is a good like showing of what age does to wine, and if there's actually going to be a difference between the screw cap and the cork.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes later, I go back in the room, and I'm just like, all right, first, I just want, everybody who liked the wine on the left, raise your hand. Nobody raised their hand. And I was like, all right, who liked the wine on the right? Everybody raised their hand. I pulled them out. The wine on the right was the screw cap version of the exact same wine. And it held up. Its fruit component held up much more so. It was rounder, softer, still had like that bottle bouquet, like that earthiness coming through, but not as degraded as the cork. Now, some people like their wine like that aged. My preference is to have a little more fruit intact for a longer period of time. So that's when we decided on Quilt going to screw cap, and that was actually the beginning of us focusing on wax if we're doing cork. And that drove us to do that tasting with the Belle Gloss wines over, unwaxed versus waxed. So then I started thinking like, all right, this wax was the seal that was used on like all wines for centuries, right?
Yeah.
And probably stopped, I don't know, maybe in the early mid 1900s. So think about the idea of what aging wine used to be. Like go to 1850. And if you had a cellar, if you were like French aristocracy and you had a cellar of all the finest wines, they're all sealed in wax, and you're like, oh, these are going to last 40, 50 years. They're going to hit their prime like 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, right? And so they would open them and the wines would taste good after that much aging. Well, at some point, the industry changed, but the idea of aging didn't. Like the length of aging. So you had people now using a foil, and the foil actually has holes in it, so you can actually get it applied onto the top of the bottle. So there's oxygen that can transfer through, or into that foil, or through that foil, and then into the cork. So you don't have like a nearly impervious barrier. So the idea of aging maintained with the same philosophy of when wax seals were used on bottles. But fundamentally, the aging process changed when they stopped using wax. Just a hypothesis. I don't know. But I can tell you the wines fucking hold up better.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And so, we got haters, like tons of haters on this shit.
Sorry, can you put one more video on from Joe's TikTok? This one I like too, because you brought up. I'm glad you just like dropped that you just dropped the mic on that. And so with this video, it was always coming down. So, why do you put wax on there? So you could charge extra money.
Yeah.
So I just thought this was a great intro because also, I mean, you have a good accent.
Obviously. I think it actually starts in the vineyards and in the winery and the dedication and time and effort we put into these products. And the wax is simply, number one, a superior seal. Number two, it's an expression on the exterior of what we put on the inside of that bottle. It costs a little bit more, but not that much. And the rest of it is supply, demand, quality, and costs. So I hope you enjoy the wine in either case.
You're so nice.
That's it. And so, dude, these like people get on there and they're like commenting like, "Bro's legit crying" or whatever. Like, and I'm like looking at the video. I was like, "Yeah, it looks like I've got like water in my eyes." Like, yeah,
Bro's legitimately crying.
totally crying. And then somebody's like, "This guy's definitely a pole smoker, like Bud Light of wines, whatever." I'm like, Jesus Christ, we still got bigots out there.
Dude, what the fuck?
I know, but it's
Fuck
just
that
like
shit.
it's like, you know, and every time, like, I try not to go through the comments, but like every once in a while, like I'll go through
You try not to? I
And
thought
click-
that's like what you thrive on.
and click on like the people, and it's so sad to see that we have such a big generation of pansies out there. Like these guys and girls are so scared to like put their actual fucking name and face out there and talk trash.
Yeah.
They put their name and face out there, they're gonna be like, you know, shutting the fuck up. So, if I have any news for anybody who has an account that's just trolling and talking shit, grow the fuck up, be a big boy or a big girl, get out there and do some shit.
Yeah.
Like so our society has no need for you.
No, yeah, I think it's
I mean, actually, I think that if we were going to talk about population control, I think that we start with the people that have the fake accounts
Wait.
to talk shit.
Wait, was that on the list?
no,
Was
that's politics.
Fuck.
I could merge
Remind
politics
me-
into this.
Population control needs to go up on the list. It does, but he's just checking boxes now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay,
I've
population control. I didn't
I've
mean to
got
interrupt.
6 kids, so I shouldn't be
So,
talking shit about population
control.
But no, man, these like, I mean, really, I think that'd be a good starting point. It doesn't like follow a certain group of people. It's just like random, like cross section of society of people that absolutely have nothing to give our society.
Yeah.
Right? So what are they doing here? Nothing. Wouldn't they be better off like fertilizing the trees?
So what? So why do you dip? For a superior seal.
Yep.
And look. Oh, look at this. Why don't we just play this one really quick?
Why do we wax our bottles? Because it creates an oxygen-deprived environment. If you have cork and a foil on top, little bits of oxygen still migrate through that cork and into the wine, degrading it more so over time. And I want this wine to last long and taste good every damn day. And it looks fucking sexy.
See,
And it looks fucking sexy. That is true. Yeah.
and I was just gonna say, like, this is another thing too, because we were talking about like the trolls. It's just like, look, we talk about before you pipe off, maybe you should educate yourself, do some research first. I mean, sometimes it just really takes a quick Google, you know,
Yeah.
like on the search thing when people are like piping off and saying these, you know, dumbass comments or whatever, like it's just for the money, right?
Yeah.
They could have actually just scrolled down, watched one of your previous videos.
You know, that's a good point. I realize that people do not do that. They're like asking questions about like a video that's right before that one.
Continuously, you have to like, right? You have to throw
Yeah.
up a video or direct them towards like, hey, we did, you know, did talk about
Yeah.
that. Why don't you check that out? That, and then also, you know, they don't have to say shit at all. Really, they don't have to like talk shit. But also, I think, oh yeah, the third thing I think is most important too is this like, let us know, like, get your hands dirty. Like, I've yet to see someone be like, you know, what's up? I'm a winemaker. Like, I get out there and I make my shit, like, and I got some shit to talk. Like, you're like, okay, then it's kind of like you're on equal playing ground. Hey, we met in the octagon. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to throw punches.
Yeah.
Like, you're a respectable fighter. It's not, I mean, there's a lot of people, you know, which I don't, did you already scratch off Psalms? Okay, I'm just going to say snobby Psalms. Not all
Snobby
Psalms. I like to
Psalms.
say snobby Psalms, but you get a snobby Psalm on there. That's
No
like,
Psalm thinks they're snobby.
that have not got their hands dirty at all, but they want to talk smack and they're just going off of their wine set too or something.
Yeah.
and they're saying that they could tell you what's good.
Yeah, but I will say that the benefit to people trash talking or like just being uneducated is that it allows us to further the education.
Yeah,
It's just at some point, like we've already answered this question like 5 times. Like, do we need to keep on putting new content out there?
Yeah,
Or maybe spend some time learning about shit rather than just sitting there scrolling through, being angry about whatever the fuck in your life.
Yeah.
And taking it out on innocent people that are actually, trying to be productive.
And you have a lot of patience, though, I think. You have a good thing.
Yeah.
I think we should actually do a
some
segment
patience.
on how to actually, we should just have something on how to deal with haters, because I feel like you're good at that. It's like you thrive with that. You're kind of like, I don't know, like, watch the haters hate, watch the money pile up kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got like the 50 Cent vibe going on, which I like. It's just like you can go to it and you're like, I feel like you see it as an opportunity, like, oh, cool, let me some education, let me shed some light, let me have like
I also feel like if you were to put me on a stage with somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh,
like if you put me and
who does he want to go on stage with? Oh, here we go.
No, if I was on stage with Jim Burnell.
Oh my God,
Jim Burnell.
Jim Burnell was not.
Dude, after
the list.
After that whole fucking debacle, I tried to get him to do like a road show.
I know we did.
Dude, I was like,
okay,
we have an opportunity to spread the love of Oregon Pinot Noir. All you got to do is come with me out in the market. You and I talk shit about our different stances, and he couldn't do it because he knows his wine's not going to stand up to ours.
Yeah. Okay. This was just a little rivalry. If you don't know.
Well, and but that's where like the contention drives awareness, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a big positive.
Yeah.
But you also have to be comfortable, just like if any question is asked of me, I'll answer it honestly. And at the end of the day, we might agree to disagree. But overall, like, I don't feel like there's something I can't answer.
No.
If I can't answer it, I'll be like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. I think
They're
so
like,
too.
what temperature does Cork burn at? I'd be like, fuck, I don't know. Maybe 400 degrees.
I don't know. Art, what temperature does Cork burn at? Get that one.
I could give you a guess.
I'm going to say, what comes up a lot too is Maker's Mark. I feel like that, and that kind of goes to show, I think, how well Maker's Marks has their marketing, right?
Yeah.
To where someone just see, oh, red wax, that's like Maker's Mark. Oh, here we go.
Till ashing at approximately 485 degrees, but it starts thermal decomposition above 200 degrees. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Learn something new. 485 is when it turns to ash.
Yeah, for corks.
For corks.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. Fun fact. I was gonna get back to for Maker's Mark. So they'll see something, they'll see the red wax, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're doing like a Maker's Mark thing or something like that." And I think it was also noted too that and I always love it too when other people will kind of have dialogue and kind of jump in, and they just noted like wax on wine's been happening for centuries.
Yeah. The
Like, this
reason
isn't
people
like a
went away
new
from it is because
thing.
it was they had a cheaper option that maybe wasn't the best for the wine, but it just became the standard because instead of hand dipping every goddamn bottle, you have a machine that's just like popping the foils on, spinning them down,
Yeah.
and like makes it way more efficient.
And now the wax is efficient for wine, right? Because we've already
Yeah.
discussed for closure.
Yeah.
Now, but does it have an efficiency for, say, a spirit for a Maker's Mark?
That's a good question. I mean, okay, think of like an old bottle of like whiskey that you had laying around.
Yeah.
Over time, it does like evaporate, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll start it slowly see it like draw down a couple millimeters.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe over a 50-year period or something, you would most likely not have that loss.
That's what I used to tell my dad when I was growing up. I was like, dude, that liquor's just evaporating. If you just look at science, it's just been over time. I'm not drinking it.
Why does it taste like water? I don't know. Apparently, after it evaporates, it starts to pull water
Remember
in.
when you just thought you could pour water in vodka that you drank? A Lavado? It's just like, that's how you knew when your parents were like, they were like core, my dad drinks a lot, so it's just like that wasn't gonna pass by. It's like, anyways, but yes.
What's funny though about the Maker's Mark thing, because like a lot of people ask about it, like,
Yeah.
isn't it trademarked? Aren't you're a knockoff?
Yeah, that's what
whatever
I want
else.
to talk about too, like the trademark.
And it's like, well, people need to know like what trademark law is, right?
Yeah.
So you have the USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And you can go on there and like look up whatever patents and trademarks are used. If you're looking to see if something's available in a certain class, you can do that. So like our class would be like really more or less beverage alcohol. So a name like Bell Gloss, you can trademark that, right? Nobody's using it, and
Yeah.
it's individual. So we own that trademark. We have something for our wax, just like Maker's Mark does. We call it a trade dress. So same thing as a trademark, but it's more about the aesthetics of what it is you do. That can come down to the exact color of the wax, which we have trade dressed, and also Maker's Mark has theirs trade dressed, and the style of dip. So in this case, we have very specific parameters about the angle and the depth of the dip that protect us for, to a decent degree of somebody else coming in and doing the same kind of thing. So we get to own this look, just like Maker's Mark owns that drip down the bottle look, right? So if somebody came out and did something just like that, I mean, hell, Jack Daniel's owns the trade dress for a square bottle for whiskey. And they have fought other people that have come out with a square bottle. Just a fucking square bottle. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So, you have those items, and so it's not a knockoff. I wasn't even looking at Maker's Mark when we dipped this. It was just traditional wax dip. A lot of wine has been wax dipped in, the centuries before us.
Yeah.
And just did deeper and got something that looked good and didn't know that we were going to be able to own it like we do. And then, then we got the patent piece that is the pull tab, and this was kind of instrumental in making this a much much more broadly accepted closure option, because wax inherently is just kind of a pain in the ass to get off the bottle. So we made this pull tab, and so this was our first patent, or actually it's our only patent that we own. So a patent is like a design for an item, right? A trademark is just protecting the name, so that you can own that. So this patent, though, we would sell these if somebody wanted to buy them, but people are not interested in doing wax. Wax is inherently a pain in the ass. There's the issues from a safety standpoint. If you spill a bunch of wax on yourself, that's a big issue. It's still 225 degrees.
Yeah.
But this pull tab made things so easy, and I actually think it's a much cleaner cut than what you have with a typical foil.
Oh yeah.
Just pops right off, and then easy access to a very clean top of the bottle, and keeps the wine just as we intended it.
Well, as far as efficiency, I mean, we've talked about this on previous podcasts, but I feel like you're always kind of leveling up, not only aesthetically, but the efficiency of this opening, right? I mean, because like you said, it evolved to getting this patented cap, but then also now you've been kind of transitioning to experimenting with different wax.
Yeah,
right?
So reformulated the wax, and so the wax actually melts at a lower temperature than about 225, which is the wax we currently use. And what I like about it is that lower temperature allows us for an easier pull on cellar temperature wine. But more importantly, we're able to put our Chardonnay and our Rosé now under wax, because what happened in the past was when you refrigerated the bottle, it would get super brittle, and little shards of wax would pop off.
Yeah.
So now this new wax, it just pulls right through, even at refrigerator temperature.
Yeah. See, that's another blessing for servers industry. I think you're always kind of keeping that in mind as well. Approaching the table and people. I know. I mean, I was in that life as well for a while, and it's it could be intimidating, right? You get with the wax bottle before, and that was before all come with the twist cap and these different wax.
Well, and we heard from
being discovered.
It was all talking to servers, bartenders, the wine buyer. I don't want to say som because but it was always I always asked them, what is it that would make your life easier? And on Belle Gloss, it was man, some kind of pull tab, it's just too difficult. So we're all right. So we developed a pull tab, which was actually a reinforced tape that went around the top. It just wasn't perfect. So finally got this thing done. Same thing though with the screw cap. First time we ever put a red under screw cap was because the service industry out there was yeah, if we're doing a by the glass Pinot, do a screw cap.
Yeah.
And so just asking them why do you want a screw cap? They're well, if I'm serving it from the bar, I want to crack that thing open, know that there's no cork taint, pour the glasses of wine, screw the cap back on, and get back to making martinis and margaritas or whatever, So it's just fail safe, quick, and the screw caps hold the wine, I think, a little bit better for a by the glass program. So if you're going to be pouring that over a 2-day, 3-day period, the wine doesn't devolve, I guess, so to speak, as quickly. So it was really just about listening to those people out there on the front lines that are like actually dealing with it and then reacting to it. Nothing happened overnight, but over time you just start to assemble all this stuff and begin the process, and at some point you end up with a product that matches what the buyer, I guess, whatever end user it is, wants, right?
Yeah.
Ease of accessibility, value, the not just the actual, quality to price value or ratio, but also the perception of value, right? Which I think is an important thing when it comes to wine. You don't want to walk into a party with a bottle of like Barefoot Bubbly, right? Like, I mean, and nothing wrong with that. Like that's
What, like, are you a Barefoot Bubbly fan, Art? I think ours. He is, dude.
No, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying is, like, if you show up to a party, they're gonna be like, "Oh, wow, thanks, Barefoot Bubbly."
Yeah, can we?
You show up with a bottle of like.
I see Chad smiling. We're gonna like bleep that shit.
You show up with a bottle of. I won't even use Belgloss, but like, say you show up with a bottle of Harlan Estate, right? That's big dick move right there. And so you're like, I got my Harlan, and they're like, holy shit, dude, you brought Harlan to the party, like, and everybody's all excited. So there's that perception of value. Now, do I see value in Harlan? No, not at all. Like $700 for a bottle of Cabernet.
Yeah.
I know goddamn well that doesn't cost you $700 to make.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're uncovering some shit.
You're talking shit online about wax and that we're upcharging for the wax. That is bullshit. But that's where supply and demand comes in. The element of exclusivity, right? You're just writing fucking paragraphs on my notes. The element of exclusivity is a real thing. It's the same thing with like Yeezy shoes.
Yeah.
Which I don't even.
Oh,
dude, you watch. No, you watch.
Go into fashion. You can't. You stay in your wine zone, bro.
You watch. Yeezys are
going
to come back with a vengeance.
Okay.
Because there is a demand out there.
All right.
Regardless of how fucking crazy that guy is, there's a demand for those shoes, and they're gonna come back and be fucking, even more expensive. As ridiculous as that sounds, it will be. Because people are like, man, all these sneakerheads, like, I can't get my sneakers. Like, I was waiting for the new Yeezys. I gotta buy like 4 pairs a year. Resell them. StockX.
That's Joe's impression of a sneakerhead.
Is this sneaker?
I was thinking, oh, dude.
And so they're operating this through just supply and demand. They're just fucking, they could produce 1 million pairs of these, dude. They just don't. Anyways.
So, I mean.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm glad. Well, hey, you know what? It's good to get that out, so then we can kind of tell people about this, though, too, that you got patented, Maker's Mark's got patented, people are all doing that, too, and that's really interesting, too, all the details of, like, how low the wax is going, the whole, like, design of it, everything like that.
Yeah.
And you got that all done, and
we've got a couple
it's not your fault that it looks sexy, because it's also efficient. That's
just a
byproduct, right? Like,
yeah.
But
I mean,
you'll
that's
go
like,
with that, too. I mean,
you're going to go up to Cindy Crawford and be like, you shouldn't have been so beautiful. Like, that's just not cool. Like, why don't you, I don't know, cut your face with a knife a few times? Like, just do it for us, because it's not fair if you that you just happen to be good looking. Yeah. The wax happens to be good looking.
Yeah.
It's also a good seal. That was the point.
Yeah. And Cindy Crawford's still rocking it. So,
yeah. So I know we were like talking about, trademarks and shit. So with the trade dress,
actually,
like
I was
this,
gonna say, I'm still rocking it. She'll forever be rocking it. But Martha Stewart, dude, did you see
on the
Sports
cover of
Illustrated?
Sports Illustrated? Yeah, she's like 80.
Yeah, dude, I think 81.
Damn, fucking saber tooth right there.
Yeah, dude, what?
What? That's beyond cougar. She's straight up ancient cougar. She's a saber tooth.
She's killing it.
Yeah, no, I thought she looked good. If I was single,
yeah, taking no prisoners.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What? What?
You're like, if I was single,
I would cook with her.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah, I'd cook with her.
What would you cook? If you had one dish that you could cook with Martha Stewart, what would it be?
Man, that's a good question, actually. I think I'd do scalloped potatoes.
Oh. Scalloped potatoes.
I don't know why. I just like potatoes. No, but so I got to say though, on the trademark or trade dress thing,
Yeah.
so we have had a couple companies like come and kind of knock off our style.
Oh, that's what I want to know too. Like, have you have any infringements?
Yeah, we've had there were a couple brands that have done it over the years, and it's like as simple as a call where you're like, hey, just want you to know, like, you can go totally like the legal route and be a dick, but like we'll call them up and be like, hey, want you guys to know we do have a trade dress on this. If there's a way for you guys to like migrate into some slightly different wax dip, like that's totally fine with us. We're not going to ask you to cease and desist, which means like just stop selling your wine immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, and generally speaking, they're all like, oh yeah, thanks, like that's cool. Like I understand, didn't know you guys had a trade dress on this. We'll migrate out of it.
Yeah.
And that's been, I think the right way to go about it, because you could just come in like fucking bull in a china shop and be like, cease and desist, stop selling your fucking product that looks like ours.
Yeah.
And that's just not, that's not a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Have you had that happen to you?
I have had that happen to me.
I kind of, you know what? I poked the bear.
Yeah, that was yeah.
No, that's bullshit. But that's actually cool. I mean, like, because you understand that they're just, it could be like an innocent thing, and then you're allowing people to sell off their product, and not be like a big deal for that. And then the last thing was, you also get comments too, and what do you think about the evolution of this? Because I think there's still some people that have that idea, because I see on the comments that for some reason that the screw cap lessens the value. That, when you're talking about Harlan, right? I mean, I'm guessing that $700 Cabernet is coming with the cork.
And a fucking foil.
And
that shit should be
foil,
wax dipped.
Right?
Actually,
okay, yeah.
It might be. Art, can you look up Harlan Estate? I don't know if they're wax dipping that stuff. But yeah. So honestly, like I would prefer a big cab like that to be under screw cab.
Yeah.
Cab is not my favorite like aging thing. So like the more oxygen deprived you can get, for me personally, I think the better off, because you're going to see this. It's like one of the first to fall off, like one of the first varietals, because the acid is really, it's not a high acid wine like Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir holds up a little better, like Rieslings and Champagne, high acid wines like that. Those hold up the best. So what I'd like to see is that, like a very oxygen deprived environment for cab. Whether that's, I think screw cap is a great option. Now, if I saw a bottle of $700 cab under a screw cap, I don't think I could actually like give an honest opinion, because I'm in the industry. I'd be intrigued, so I'd be like, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
If I had $700 that I wanted to waste, but I refuse to buy bottles of wine that are that expensive. There you go. Oh, you know what? They might do the little dollop of wax on the top, like they recess the cork a little, which doesn't give like a perfect seal, but I think that's probably what they're doing.
Oh, okay. When you get into that higher tier, you at least want to see like it properly being sealed.
Yeah.
To, you're spending that much money to, for over time.
We hope, my thought is, you take this bottle of Belgloss to like a friend's house.
Yeah.
Or you're going on a date and you order a bottle of this.
Yeah.
This just makes you feel good the moment that you get it, right?
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, you bring that in.
It looks special, feels special. And so that makes a big difference. And I don't care what people think. If they think it's just like trying too hard, it's like, fuck you. It actually came out of necessity. And, I like the look. And I would also like to point out that these people are probably like paying $75 for a fucking T-shirt because it has some fucking streetwear brand logo on it. It's made by the same goddamn factory that Gap and Old Navy are made in.
Don't bring fashion into it.
It's real, right?
It's art.
You gonna go buy a fucking? Are you gonna go buy a fucking Birkin bag for $30,000?
Don't even get him on the whole sunglasses conspiracy.
Yeah, no fucking shit. It's crazy,
right?
So it's all just personal.
Yeah.
Anyways, look, I wear my fucking grandma's curtains as my Hawaiian
You
shirt.
can market that.
And people are like, dude, it says Gucci. It was worth every bit of $200 for a black fucking T-shirt.
There it is. There's the wax, the little dollop, as you said it. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a good looking seal. I do like that. Very minimal.
That is cool.
Can we talk about minimalism real quick?
Okay.
And I'm not saying that's minimal. That's very classic. But minimalism. Like, when did we start thinking that minimalism was a good thing in our society? Like minimalism in architecture and design.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh no, you don't like it?
What do you like about it?
Clean looking. It's like less stressful if there's not like a whole bunch of like scattered shit.
It doesn't look like cheap and they're not trying hard enough. Like, is there good minimalistic
I mean,
design?
it doesn't have to be cheap.
Yeah, you can make anything expensive. I mean, yeah, you can fucking put a pole in made out of pure gold, but like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
but
okay.
minimalism. So like, okay, look at. Let's take the evolution of a telephone booth. Okay, old school red telephone booth.
Okay.
Like think like London, right?
Okay.
Beautiful detail, painted probably with lead paint. Got some depth to that paint.
Ooh, that lead paint.
All these like
I like
little
that.
facets of glass, and then all the detailing up on the top and the metal work. And then you have these fucking telephone booths from like the 1990s and 2000s that we had that are just a fucking black steel stand with like a mediocre semi box around it that didn't even
Yeah.
give you protection or privacy. That's minimalism. What good did that bring to society?
Well, I thought you were
Like,
talking.
look up some like comparisons of minimalism.
I thought you were talking
you know
about.
what? Look up how minimalism is ruining our culture.
I mean, when you're talking about architecture and like design, like interior design, that's one thing for me. I mean, I've walked into stuff and kind of been like, that's nice and clean and looking. And if you were walking around there, like it wouldn't make you feel like you're going crazy. You know, when your living environment is like there's just like shit all around, stuff like that can affect your head and how you're.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like keeping things like clean and neat. Like I've seen like some minimalism in that, and I thought it looked good. But when you're talking about phone booths, I mean, I don't know. That's a different thing for me, I guess. I want the phone booth that like you could go in and change like Superman. You know?
Minimalism is killing us.
Surprisingly, there is a lot on this subject.
Oh,
A
really?
lot.
Talk about
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised because minimalism sucks. Look at the cars of like, minimalistic cars today. It's like they sell it off as being like clean and sleek and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, give me a fucking boat of a Cadillac from 1969. Like, I would much prefer the lines on those cars.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I also agree with it on the going back to the phone booth, really. I mean, I like the phone booth. You could go inside, close the door,
Yeah.
keep people out. You could live in there. Maybe hard times.
Yeah, no shit.
to
Now
it.
you have
could
people living in there.
You could, you know what I mean? Like,
Can you look at some images, Art? I want to see some of these. Why minimalism is bad? Like, I want some like comparatives, Like,
I had one on telephone books. Give me a second.
on telephone books.
Sorry,
Specifically.
telephone booths.
so all right, so let's now relate it to our world, right?
Yeah.
So packaging wise,
Yeah.
and minimalism is like not. I don't think it's like. I'm trying to think of like the most minimalistic design label I've seen. Like, there you can get really simple, just like straight up like white with black, and it's still impactful, right? White with black font. Still impactful on the shelf, but like when I hold that bottle, and I've seen there's quite a few brands that are just straight up like black and white, right?
Yeah.
You hold that bottle, you're just kind of like meh, like not really doing anything for me. It's not exciting.
Yeah.
Like when I look at a bottle that was well designed, like that the package looks good, you're kind of like, yeah, I got something special. I can't wait to try this.
Yeah.
So you don't get that with minimalism.
Yeah. But can you say that it fits in some places though?
I can see like if you have like a house in like Miami and like that's your style, like you want that like super contemporary look and feel in your architecture, and then everything kind of follows suit as far as your furnishings and all that
Yeah.
in more of a minimalist way. I mean that's a style preference,
Yeah.
but I also think that's like it's just gonna be cool for a little bit. Like if you build something with character,
Yeah.
like whatever historical provenance, whatever you want to look at it as, something that like emanates a different time, that's now timeless, and it could stay there and just reside as its own style forevermore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, look at the studio. I mean, it wasn't really minimalist, right?
This is not minimalist.
Yeah.
No, we got the fucking
This is hot.
curtains, velvet
Yeah.
curtains,
Look at that.
fucking wood walls.
Yeah. That
these
would, if those woods could
microphones.
talk, those fucking wine barrels. We got a fucking bear who does cocaine. All right, like, so we're
He's looking a little creepy back there. Got his pod. He's like, hey, I'm looking at you.
oh my god. Oh man, how are we going? Okay, well I'm glad that we touched on that subject. Look like you want to talk about it, and you know,
Well, I
you made some good
just
points.
think
You made some good
I
points.
appreciate packaging.
And you're right, and coming
Yeah.
down, and I appreciate the packaging too. And like you said, I mean, even down to the what's in the bottle telling the story, like so does the packaging, you know. And then who
Yeah.
doesn't like the artistic value and creativity of expression on that front?
Now, think of a product, like, could be any class of product, something that is over-delivering on the packaging, but the product itself sucks.
That over delivers on the packaging and
Yeah.
the product itself sucks. I'd probably say like some of the
Samsung Galaxy phones. I'm kidding.
look at Art.
Think-
What?
You and your
Hey,
green
hey,
fucking text, like you're not even part of the cool group, man. So, but their marketing's cool.
Yeah, I say like some energy drinks.
Yeah,
You know,
energy
like
drinks,
it's
yeah.
like all the packaging is all bright and big, like it was like bang, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
then like it just like tastes like shit, and it's got some chemical stuff that's like, you know,
Yeah.
gonna kill you.
What about like board games? There's some like board games that, like over market themselves in their packaging, and then they just kind of suck.
But they're just like awesome.
Well, then some are awesome.
Oh, and like, well, I mean, what about like menus? Like you ever like if you go to like some like you were like fast food places, bro. Like there's some fast food places where it's just got like the burgers like looking.
Oh, yeah,
all,
there you
like,
go. Yeah,
juicy,
yeah.
Fucking like Carl's Jr. Right, where it's just like
Where it all
fucking
like
just,
slams
popping, all
down
that
and just
kind of
looking.
shit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, you know, it used to get you. You learn your lesson.
And then you get your burger and it's fucking like
it's just like squashed
squished down. It's just they threw like two pickles on like random spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. So you're saying, yeah, you don't also you want to be able to excite people and then deliver,
Yeah.
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 And you've always been big on that with your packaging. Was this
Like going back to the board game, so like think of this one like the opposite. Cards Against Humanity. It's not a board game really, but it's a card game.
yeah,
But like it's the most basic, like
basic,
under delivers on its packaging. Like
yeah,
there is nothing exciting about that packaging. It's just you look at it and you're like, it's a game. We'll try it out. And then it's one of the best fucking games for like a group. It's a ton
Yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
we should actually bring that game on here.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
We should just pull it out when we have like a guest.
Oh,
Like,
I
we're
see,
playing
alright.
this now.
yeah.
That's a good one. Just randomly pull out a game.
randomly
By
pull
the
it
way,
We're gonna bring that up.
All right, hey,
All right.
speaking of card games,
What?
you,
Why are you
you
already
know
laughing?
Pedro, right? Pedro?
Yes,
I taught you Pedro.
yes,
You're welcome.
yes,
I'm in fucking Louisiana a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
and it's funny because like there are hotbeds of people playing Pedro. Pedro is a card game. There's different variations of it for everybody that doesn't know it out there. Anyways, I go into this meeting, and it's a retail chain down there called Rouse's, and they're a like great supporter of ours. And so the owner of Rouse's is there, and his like a good friend of his who also runs his HR, which is always a good call. Have your friend run your HR. And then a number like the buyers and everything. And so we're sitting there, and it was kind of like, how do we break the ice? It was like, I don't know, 12 of us in a room. We're about to have dinner, and so we're going around, and the HR dude and his wife were like, "Oh, we're from Houma, Thibodaux area of Louisiana. It's like, you know, just outside of New Orleans." And I was like, "Oh, Thibodaux, you guys like play Pedro?" And they're
Wait,
like,
you-
"What?" I was like, seriously, like I play online, and so many people are from Thibodaux, and they're like, "Yeah," and so they told me like later, like, "We thought you like looked us up and were like fucking with us, like just trying to break the ice." And I pulled out my phone. I've got like 2,500 games on this thing. I'm like, no. So she told me her name on the game. I was like, I've played you before.
Oh, and you played her
Yeah.
on the game? Oh, whoa.
This is a small world, but it was
Yeah.
like best icebreaker just because it was just like so fucking random. And they're
Oh,
all
nice.
like good old boys down there. They just want to fish and hunt and have some fun. And yeah, it was good time.
All right,
What's
should we
next?
get some horrible bosses?
Are we jumping into horrible bosses?
Yeah, dude, we're already. You had to go on this like minimalist rant. I think you hit all the boxes today of all the shit I told you not to talk about. I got Art over here just giving me signs. Like,
I do feel like we actually got through a lot of like good shit on packaging. And,
yeah,
like, some
no, that
entrepreneur
was
stuff,
really
so,
good.
like,
That is really good shit because
we're just trying to relate it to like real.
God, I hope people like listen. I just hope they do, dude, because you keep making the videos and they're not listening.
You didn't talk about your babies, your
I
new
know,
child,
like, even, like,
your
look at
children.
that. So Griffin and Grain, Bourbon and Rye, like those packages were a lot of fun to design and build and whatever else.
Yeah,
it's like a bunch of arts and crafts shit.
Look at that top part. It's
Dude, does that not tell a story of quality and character? Like,
yeah.
Anyways,
you got some.
You know what? If it doesn't look good, you're not trying, and that means you're lazy. And if you're lazy, then population control.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are those bee vibes on the top?
Bee the fucking vibrators.
I hit it. Sorry,
look, I understand that some of our packages with the wax can look a little phallic, and I am totally all for them being used in whatever capacity you want.
I love it.
And if you're listening to this and you do want a custom dipped, ribbed, or studded version, we can offer that.
Yeah,
for a small upcharge.
Into it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All right,
Horrible bosses.
Horrible bosses. Okay, horrible.bosses@coppercane.com. Send us your stories. We like to talk about them at the end of our episodes, and we get your story. We give our insight, I should say, and we have fun. Okay.
All right.
Hit it, Joe.
Well, just reading the first line here. So, I got to tell you. So we've been in the restaurant business for a while, and it is like the people problems in the restaurant business are real. Like, there's a lot of drama, a lot of like just drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drama.
Drama
that leads to trauma.
I feel like they got like the best stories too. I mean, we've heard some shit.
Fast life.
Yeah, and I've been in it too. Yeah, crazy shit.
All right, this is how they start. Okay, yo, listen up.
Oh,
I gotta spill the beans about this crazy job I had at a restaurant. Brace yourselves, cause my boss was straight up ass clown. I kid you not. Okay, this is a great writing. I feel like I had to do this in like the voice.
Yeah,
I
dude,
kid you not.
Will you do it the voice, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
The dude had this neck tattoo that screamed, "Born alone, die alone." Who gets inked with such an emo douche motto? I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that he was actually a manager. It's like a cosmic joke gone wrong, man. So this boss of mine, let's call him Mr. Balloon Knot, had a wicked obsession with playing the favor card. He'd do something that was totally part of his job description and then pull this, "I just did you a favor, so can you do me a favor" line? Like, come on, dude, we signed up for the job. Not a favor trading platform. Now here's the kicker. If you dared to disagree with Mr. Balloon Knot, he'd go all revenge of the workload on you. That's right, my friends. He stacked up unnecessary tasks like it was his life's mission. You said no to staying late, boom! Suddenly, you're stuck sorting a billion napkins or cleaning the restaurant with a toothbrush. Ooh. It was never a never-ending cycle of workplace madness. But the wildest episode went down when we had a surplus of sandwiches that were destined for the trash. Now, being the eco-warrior and food lover that I am, I thought, hey, why waste perfectly good eats? I can snack on them later or share them with those in need. It was a noble plan, right?
Right on.
Well, guess what? Mr. Balloon Knot had other plans in store. He sniffed out my sandwich-saving mission and decided to slap a fine on me. Ooh. Yeah, you heard that right. He deducted money from my hard-earned check for rescuing sandwiches from the trash.
Oh, hell no.
Who charges for sandwiches that were basically garbage's soulmates? It's like a whole new level of crazy. But hold on to your avocado toast, my friends, because here comes the epic finale.
Oh,
One day, the universe conspired to give me a chance for some sweet, sweet payback. The whole staff scheduled for a shift mysteriously called in sick, leaving Mr. Balloon Knot in desperate need of a superhero squad. Ooh. In a moment of pure genius, I made the ultimate move. I told Mr. Balloon Knot I'd swoop in and save the day, and then drum roll.
Oh!
I never showed up.
Oh, shit!
The look on his face must have been priceless when he realized he was left to handle the restaurant chaos all by his lonesome. I can only imagine the epic meltdown that went down. And that's how I dropped the mic. And bid adieu to that workplace circus. I quit my friends and embraced the freedom like a boss. Last I heard, Mr. Balloon Knot was stuck there, juggling orders and throwing a tantrum like a toddler in a toy store.
Ooh.
It's a poetic justice, a modern-day workplace legend.
Oh, what? Dude, first
Good writing.
of all,
That was...
wow, Joe, dude.
Oh, me?
What? It was also a good reading, you too. That was like a collaboration.
That was good.
That was script, dude.
I want to know who wrote this.
You also got you gave me like wrestler vibes.
Like Randy Savage?
It sounded like,
oh, yeah!
That's what I do. Do you remember that? Like, oh, man, you know what's best? You know what we should do is sometimes, well, you should like revisit, because we grew up on WWF. Just a quick tangent. But could you go back and just like listen to some of the shit that they were saying and that we were like listening to?
Now.
Like,
yeah,
they would be canceled, but then like also like Ultimate Warrior is the best. Go back and like listen to his stuff, because it's just like, and when the rain comes down in the fire of the depths of the devil, and you see your face, I see you tonight. And you're like, what is he? I don't know, dude. That guy is like, he's on some
He was
shit.
intense and wanted to kill somebody.
Art thou bored?
Yeah.
Step into a Slim Jim. Turn to the spice. That baby juicy taste.
There was also, you know Key and Peele, right?
Yes.
So Key and Peele, there's this one where like
God,
it's like they're fighting, like they're like two fighters, like they're about to do a matchup, and like it starts off one guy talking trash, just like regular old trash, like yeah, I'm gonna mess him up so good in the ring, and then the other guy gets on and just like every time he's on, it goes worse and worse. And he's like, "I'll make sure your body is burning in hell, and your family will all die with you." And the guy's like, "Wait, he knows it's just a like." Trash talking, like this is like the hype video, right? Taking it like way too seriously. Yeah, so horrible bosses.
Yeah.
The favorite thing, nah, man. Like the favorite, like that's like a leverage player. I don't like leverage players.
Yeah.
Like where it's like I did something for you, you owe something to me, or like always having something there that is going to like put you in a position where you think you have some power and control over other people. And there's a lot of people like that. We have people in the company like that, actually. And they're a pain in the ass to deal with. No, Art is not. Art and Chad, you guys are
that
not.
was like a slow, like you turn around, like they're like, okay.
You guys aren't leverage players. No, but leverage players are they're like the ego gets involved, and they think that they're better than they like, you know, more powerful and better than they are. Yeah. And I think it's a bad thing for a workplace. But sometimes you like they offer a lot because they're highly motivated, but then you got to like rein them. You got to rein them in. Now, if you're just like the owner and operator like this, and you're playing like that, well, you'd already started off on the wrong foot. Like, good luck getting back on track with that one, because you just made a toxic environment for everybody else and teaching them bad habits. Yeah. So you, Mr. Balloon Knot.
Yeah. Balloon Knot.
You can fuck yourself right in the face for teaching people bad habits in any workplace.
Do you like that name, Balloon Knot?
Balloon Knot? Balloon Knot.
How did he come up with that? I mean, what was the imagination behind that name?
What's a balloon knot look like?
I mean, this is so random. This makes me think that Lloyd wrote it. And you can tell him I said that, Art.
Oh, yeah. I'll point into this episode.
All right, well, hey, we're signing off. Thanks for joining us again on Go With Your Palate. Come back next week. Yeah. Give us some ideas, man. Throw some shit in the comments. Like,
yeah, what's up, dude?
I mean,
let us know what you want.
What do you guys want to hear about? Like, we'll talk about anything and everything.
I mean,
like,
it's whatever the fuck else. So I mean, you know, and either that or we're left to, you know, Joe here, which, you know, he just gets us in some trouble.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Did you check all your shit off?
No, I'm signing off.
Well, you didn't. Did you say something about the government today? You did. You started off with that.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay, Paul. All right.
I got the government.
It ain't safe. It ain't safe.
All right.
All right.
Peace.